Everybody just loves The Wizard of Oz. But the man who wrote that just lived 20 miles away from Onondaga. He didn't like Indians. He called us pets of the government. And he wrote The Wizard of Oz. And that was a story that was written for somebody who was running for president. That's what that whole thing is about, and all the symbolism in it. There were symbols. The farmer, the scarecrow represented the farmer, and have no brains. And that's what they're saying at the time. Farmer doesn't have brains enough to take care of himself. Well, where do we go? We go to Oz. He knows. Well, where's Oz? Well, follow the yellow brick road. What's the yellow brick? Gold. Follow the yellow brick road. That was a big discussion back there. Shall we have the gold standard, or shall we go, with the green backs? The Emerald City of Oz. Well, it wasn't emerald. You had to have green glasses. When you got to Oz, you put on green glasses. And then the city was green. They're talking about paper, and they're talking about gold standard. It was an interesting story, and when you start reading it. And what about the woodsman? They found him out there, the tin man. He was laying all over. He had an axe. That's what he was. He was labor, no heart. He needed a heart, remember? And the cowardly lion, he needed courage. And that was going to be the president, who was saying, no, you don't have to have courage is there. That's the style of politics in those times. There was no television, there was no radio. They used stories. And so the fiercest of them all was the Wicked Witch of the West. And who was that? Who was the Wicked Witch of the West? And that's your key. And who was helping the Wicked Witch of the West? Flying monkeys. And who were they? Well, I'll answer. The Wicked Witch of the West was nature, subdued by water, if you remember. And what they wanted to do was dig a canal all the way to Kansas. And that's why they were in Kansas. A story about Kansas. All of that. All symbolic. And who were the flying monkeys? Who were the pets of the government? Indians. And turned out that they were friendly at the end. And so Dorothy, who represented the American people, said, come with me and come back. And they said, no, we can't go past the river, which was the Mississippi. And they had shipped all the Indians on the other side of the Mississippi. That's your Wizard of Oz. So who was the enemy? Mother Nature. And until you change your enemy and realize that's not your enemy, that's your mother, you might have a chance. Just might.